Hey everybody, welcome back to NW Farms. Thanks for joining us today. It's Saturday, October the 11th, and we're out here baling square bales again. So this hay was cut last Friday, Saturday at the end of the week. Been on the ground about a week. This will be square bales for mulch hay production also. So I'm gonna take a little time and explain what we call mulch hay. And so there may be some confusion. Or maybe you've not ever heard of mulch hay. Wheat straw has been used for years and years and years as erosion control on construction sites. And a lot of people sow it on their yard or put it on their yards if they're sowing a new yard, or use it for ground cover. But the problem that we have ran into in the last few years is the rising cost of wheat straw has driven consumers to pursue other market ideas. And so we wound up in the mulch hay business because we had friends that came to us that are in the grading and excavating business and asked us to start producing a mulch hay product that they could use on a job site for erosion control. And so it was one of those deals. This market found us. We did not go into the mulch hay market, but we pursuing customers come to us and ask us to produce this much or mulch hay for them, and so that's how we wound up here. This makes about our 8th or 9th year being in the mulch hay business. Things have changed a lot from the time we started. The first year that we done it, we started, and actually one of the customers that we have, they sent their crews off of their crews from their construction company down, and they hand loaded hay on the trailer and stacked for us. That was part of their pricing. And so their price was much cheaper than a lot of our other customers because they provided labor in the field. So we give them a price break. After doing that, I am paranoid. I'm a mild conspiracy theorist in regards to, I feel like everybody's out to sue me. And so I wanted to take that manual labor and do away with it so that it was no longer relying on those guys to be here to provide that labor, in fear of a lawsuit of heat stroke, worst case scenario, somebody gets snake bit, stung by a bee, any of those things, fall off a wagon, whatever, bale fall on them, something. But so we moved away from that, and actually that same customer, they went in and bought Maxillator grapples. And so that was where we started with. They provided the grapples, they loaded their own hay, and so they provided that. It works okay. The grapple is a great system if your fields are perfectly level, but in our application, our fields are not level, they're a little rough, so therefore we figured that wasn't what we needed to do either. So the next step we took, we went into mechanical accumulation with a whole shear hydraulic bale accumulator. That is a good product, I guess, if you have high hydraulic capacity, but you see the ages of the tractors that we run, and because of the tractors that we run, we do not have the hydraulic capacity that we needed in order to make that product work like what we needed to. So I fought with that one season, and that year I finally got to the point, I got so mad at it, I literally unhooked it in the middle of the field and left it, and just went on to baling and putting them on the ground, and we used the Maxillator grapples and put the hay up that way for the year and finished the year out. At the end of that season, I began to pursue other options, and that's when we wound up with AF10 Coons / Norden. Now they've rebranded, accumulator from Mountain View Equipment Sales. And if you're in our part of the country or in the Middle Tennessee area or anywhere in the Southeast and you got interest in one of those, you give Jason Smith a call at Mountain View Equipment and he will put you in anything Coon Norden related. He is a great asset for a dealer for them, and even after the sale, he's been great to us. So we moved to a AF10 Coons accumulator. For our operation, it is the best thing that we have done for the equipment that we run. So that's why we have it. We have no plans of changing as of right now. The only options that we have is either a Bell Baron or a Bell Bandit. And both of those, the cost is the biggest thing for us. And I can't pay what they want for those. Now down the road, if this business continues to grow, we may pursue other options and run a Coons and a Bell Bandit or Bell Baron or something, but not right now. So other things that have changed since we started. Me and Heath were talking about it coming to the field today. One of the biggest things that has changed is now our customers have specs on what this bale of hay has to weigh in order for them to get the price that is in their contracts for erosion control on their dirt jobs. So we were baling a bale that was like 36 inches long, but they just didn't have the weight to them. So we tightened bales up last year, and we're in like the 50-pound range. So one of our customers, for him to get paid for the hay on the job site, they take 5 bales, and in that 5 bales, 3 out of the 5, or an average of the 5 bales, has to weigh 45 pounds. If it does not, he gets docked in the price per bale that he gets paid to put that hay out on the job. So we have to make sure that our hay is heavy enough for those customers. So it's not just go out here and shove hay in a bale. The other thing is whenever we talk about mulch hay, people often think that we are producing a low quality product, or you just go out and bale whatever. And that's not the case either. Now, some customers are a little more forgiving than others in regards to some trash being in the hay if they're using a straw blower. If customers hand spreading this, we have to be 100% certain that it is not full of birch tree saplings or pine tree saplings or blackberry bushes or any of that kind of stuff. So we actually spray our fields to keep them fairly clean in order to combat that, so that our customers are not complaining. Because that's one of those things. We worked hard after we got these customers. We worked hard to please them and make sure that they're getting plenty of product, and the product that they want to blow on a job site. So therefore, it's not just as easy as going out and slinging anything in a bale. So that's a little bit about what we're doing in mulch hay. Now this hay right here is literally no different than the hay that I feed my cattle all winter long. It's just that we actually let it lay in the field and dry on down. We want this hay to be less than 10% moisture in it, so that it is almost no moisture. It's a good dry product. It makes it more stable, allowing us to store it and allowing us the ability to not have to worry about mold, because if the product molds, the mold spores can cause the grass seed not to germinate, so therefore customers get complaining about that too. So there's a little more to it than what people realize. I was telling somebody about it this week, and they're like, man, I didn't really realize there was that much to being in the mulch hay business. And you can be in the mulch hay business and not put that much effort into it. But I look at things, and the way I was raised is if you're selling somebody something, you better be satisfied with it yourself before you sell it to them. And so that's what I try to do, is I try to make a product that our customers are satisfied and that I am satisfied with whenever I'm selling it to them. So enough yakking about the mulch hay business. I hope you enjoy the videos. We're going to turn around here, show Heath raking a little bit. We're going to go eat lunch here in a little bit. That's all we've done today. We was joking about that. We've had the first big heavy dew for the week. The dew that we had this morning looked like a light rain. We had big hopes of starting early this morning, but that didn't happen. So we've done nothing but ride around, gather up equipment, work on a few other minor projects on the farm, and eat. So we got to work a little bit, but we're going to go eat here in a little bit. Come back, we're going to kick off the square baler again. We got some new cameras we're trying out. I have bought a 360 camera. It's mounted on Heath right now. Hope it's still recording. Don't know anything about that. And I have also bought a drone to start doing some drone shooting. We had a friend of ours, that he shot with a drone, but there's times I want to shoot video that I don't want to bother him. And I may decide 45 minutes before I go to the field that we're going to do that. So sorry about all the talking, but something different, trying to explain a little bit about what we got going on. If you got questions, leave us a comment. Alright, so not gonna call any names. Somebody was raking hay. It wasn't me. You seen who was on the rake in the first clip. But he's managed to blow a hydraulic hose on Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in a town that nothing's open on Saturday. So we're gonna see if we can take a hose off. And I guess this is about a good time to go eat lunch as any and see if we can get some parts. So these are the hoses for the hydraulic remotes on the 50/50, and it blew out right here. Heath ain't gonna have to worry about water getting in his boots anytime soon. Isaac's sitting in the service truck in the shade taking a nap. I'm probably fixing to get covered up right here. One of these is gonna have pressure on them. Maybe not. Maybe you release it.
I'll rock it back and forth.
Okay.
After I got it killed.
Okay, I got it turned off. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead. We ain't just gonna put one hose on, we're gonna put both of them on. They're both the same age. That's about right.
When I jerked the kill switch out on it.
Alright, you got us back to filming?
Mm-hmm.
3/4 is too tight.
What you need?
Probably like a 19 or something. So the 7/8 is too loose. Let's go to 20. 20's too small.
22.
Let's try 22.
More like it?
Yeah.
Right there's the culprit, folks.
Wrong way.
They could have put it on top.
Yeah.
So it's bad. It could be up top. Wouldn't hurt anything.
And you can't get but like 2 turns on it. They're too flat.
see any movement?
I do now.
All right, I can turn it.
I'll turn it on. Load it. I'm gonna have to turn it back here. Alright.
Number one. There we go. Lunchtime, folks.
Okay, so we're back from lunch, minus 2 hydraulic hoses, because everything in town is closed except for O'Reilly's. And this is going to sound very full of myself, I guess. When you walk in the store and you know more about what's on the shelf and what you need than the people that are working in the store, we've got issues. So I walked into O'Reilly's. Now, granted, I do have, where I work, I actually have the same machine as what O'Reilly's does for crimping hoses. So we have a Gates hydraulic hose machine at the college. And so I've been learning how to use that. So I have all my fittings, and I've learned all the fittings and hose sizes and everything in order to make it to where I can make hoses really easy. So we walked in O'Reilly's. One little kid that was there somewhat knew what was going on, but I went ahead and started digging through his parts counter. He didn't have any fittings that we needed. Couldn't have them till Monday. And so we decided to come back. We actually ate lunch and then we came back. He's coming down the road right now on the 5670. He's actually pretty close by. I can hear him coming. That's the one good thing about that tractor. It makes like a racket. So we're going to cap the ports off on this tractor. Put a jack on the hay rake, let it get set down, get Heath coming, hooked up, and then we'll go from there. So this is number 6. These are actually number 8. But we're going to see if we can cap these off, even though honestly it shouldn't do anything. But just in the event somebody was to hit the handle. Alright, so we got those capped. Put our cap kit back on the service truck. Grab the jack out of the back and we'll take it off. That's pressure off them. There's not any pressure on it.
Oh.
That's the reason why I ask you that. Alright, I'm gonna crank the tractor up, move it out the way.
Hopefully I don't get sprayed.
There ain't nothing to spray.
Yeah, everything's spraying out.
Hang on to this.
Okay.